Big beard.
Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Iyanna.
Welcome to Fill in the Blank podcast.
Welcome.
Get away, okay, we can go. No place 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 we can go. Get away.
Fill in the blank.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another week here at Fill in the Blank podcast. Did you like those moves?
No.
Hey, Iyanna.
Hi, Kayla. Hi, Kayla. I see we on 10 today, huh? You see me through a screen and you say, okay.
Cut up. She can't stop me.
I don't know. That makes me think about, have you ever seen Hitch?
Yes.
That's my favorite scene where he's like, he can't stop it. He can't stop it. Literally my favorite
That's
movie.
literally how I feel. Honestly, this is just me like going
delirium.
Yeah. I have nothing left in my body and I'm just
I feel it. It'd be like that.
fighting.
It really do be like that. It really do be like that.
Well, how have you been?
Oh.
What's been going on? You've been on your world tour. Just
world tour.
Everywhere.
Oh. I mean, now I'm in Atlanta at my parents'.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're virtual again.
That's why we're virtual again. I texted the group and I was like, y'all, I gotta go home.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go home. Can we just do it online? And it seemed to work well with Cammy. So I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to make this a habit. But nonetheless, I was like, I gotta go home, bro.
Yeah, you needed the time.
I really did.
We've been going hard. Just think about it. Cammy episode was episode number 36. So for 35 episodes,
we've been consistent.
We have consistently pushed out episodes where we have trucked through, come over to my place and record episodes.
We've been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I'm proud
so
of
you
us.
deserve. Me too.
I do deserve. I've had a hard week.
Yes. So talk about it. Let's talk about how the week has been. Man. Ever since the episode, the infamous viral episode now has dropped.
Ooh. I'm glad it's finally out there. And on one hand, I feel ridiculously free. Mm-hmm. Ridiculously free. And then on the other hand, I'm wildly overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's like a weird dichotomy, but it's fine. I mean, I know for a fact that like it's going to get better from here. The weight, I don't feel that weight anymore, man. I really don't feel that weight anymore. I feel so light.
Yes.
So light. And now the only thing that I have to cope through is like some of the criticism or like whatever the heck people got to say. But I know in like a week or two, people won't care.
Yeah. It'll die down.
It'll die down.
That's a really difficult part to process and cope through because I even got a taste of it with this episode that went out. And I was like, do you remember, what was it on? Was that Vine? I don't know, but there was a thing where this little guy was singing. He was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Well, all right now, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my and leave. Excuse me, please. That is how I have been feeling. I'm like, you know what? I got y'all. I'm out of here. I don't do this.
Kayla. I remember when you saw that coming, you about lost your mind. I was like, Kayla, it's fine.
You know what? It really triggered something in me for real. Like I cried about it for 2 days. I'm not going to lie. I cried about it for 2 days because of the fact that this person tried to make it seem as though I would push you to do something. Yeah, push you to do something that you were not comfortable with. That was the part for me that sent me. Like, it really, really sent me.
Look, and then it's us telling you like, oh, but it's fine. You know who you are, blah, blah. But it doesn't help. It doesn't help when people tell you that. And that's why I'm like, people are like, Iyanna, just don't read the comments. Iyanna, just don't like, blah, blah. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Because just knowing that people are talking about you, it's just like, all right.
Yeah. All right, that part was hard. And then also, it's just like the person called me surface level, which was another thing that really, that did something. Because when you come and you are sharing so much of yourself, like things that you typically would not share, you know. It's just so ridiculous for you to call somebody surface level when that is just not the case. Like, it is obviously not the case. And it's hard because I think that sometimes what this person might have did, and maybe other people who have the same thought process, like put in comparison what it is that you have gone through versus the things that I'm sharing that
That's
are personal.
another thing that I think they're comparing the gravity of it, but the thing is like, just because, like, I mean, it's a damn divorce, but like, how many people deal with a damn divorce? Like, the gravity of that is like intense, but that doesn't mean that your struggle isn't just as intense or impactful on your life.
Yes. It's just that I'm speaking my truth. Like, I can't talk about what is not happening. Like,
I'm sorry, but that phrase triggers the hell out of me.
What?
Speaking my truth.
Oh, girl. Yes. You know what? We need to retire that. Let's find something. Let's find something new. But yeah, you can't talk about what's not happening. You talk about what's happening.
What's happening? What's happening? And you've been doing that.
And that's surface level, apparently. So, I mean.
It's fine, Kayla.
But, I got over it. I was like, it is what it is. I know who I am. I know what my purpose is, what we're doing here, what your purpose is, that you were able to speak about something that was so vulnerable in your life that you did not have to share. But from it wasn't for you to. I've seen so many just terrible, ridiculous comments, and it wasn't because of any of the things that people think, but it was for you and for you to be able to walk in your purpose fully, to be able to say, I am who I think I am.
Yeah, and that's why at some point I just had to be okay with it. I just had to be okay with it. The part that is hard for me to cope with is people trashing Jared. That's the part that's hard, because like that was the very thing I wanted to avoid. And I know I'm hyper aware that it's not my responsibility, but it's still like, it still makes me feel some type of way that like people feel comfortable to do that. Because me talking about it, that wasn't the purpose of it. Like, the purpose was really just my unburdening until he did that live. And then I was like, well, damn, now I got to defend myself. But okay. Okay. But anyways, I've been coping well, though. I'm at home. I will say being at home has not been very restful because I've been taking care of my dad's shitty booty ass dog.
What's wrong with the doggy?
He's sick. My dad gave this 13-year-old dog some cheese, and his stomach has been tore up. And we keep telling my dad, stop giving him human food. But every once in a while, he'll give him a little nugget. He's like, no, it's fine. He's fine. And for the most part, Sebastian's been able to digest it this entire time.
Sebastian.
I know, the bash man. But now, like, he's older. He's a lot older, and my dad just wants to help. Like, he wants to give because that's his firstborn. That dog is his firstborn child. He treats it like it's a human, and I am not even playing. So my dad's had to go to work, so I've been the one cleaning this dog's ass, literally. And when I tell you, it's nothing but liquid coming out of his butthole.
Oh my gosh!
I've had to put diapers, literally newborn baby diapers, on this dog. And I don't do well. And immediately I was like, I'm not having kids. I can't do it. I'm not having kids.
So wait, you just triggered me, because what you're talking about is the reason why Hunter doesn't live with Marcus and I anymore. Hunter was pooping liquid shit.
Yeah.
And he did it on the side of my bed. Yeah. So this morning we were asleep, right? Mm-hmm. And literally, I kid you not, and this is trigger warning for all of you. It's about to sound so nasty, this sound I'm about to do.
It's like, fast forward if you need to.
I need y'all to understand how I was woken up. I'm laying there and it said,
oh no.
I literally sat straight up in my bed and I just started looking around. I said, where is he at? Where is he at? And I look and he's on my side of the bed and it's liquid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yes, this dog has been shitting liquid for like 2 days.
Oh,
and it's been me. It's been me. So as soon as I got home, me. It's been me.
The strongest.
So there's no rest. There is no rest. And then I couldn't even, because I had an ad to film. I couldn't even film my ad because I was so preoccupied with this damn dog.
Oh
And now,
my
like, I might miss
God.
my deadline. I've just been stressed. I'm like, bro, I came here for rest. What is this? What is
This
this?
is not peace.
I tell you, I've been so mad at my dad. And he didn't even mean to. He didn't even mean to. And I'm still like, I'm not washing my dishes. You wash them. I've been so mad.
Being grumpy.
I've just been grumpy. A little grouch.
That's so funny. Well, hopefully Sebastian's stomach gets better.
That's what I'm saying. I just need this poor little, because he is suffering. Every time he goes to poop, he's just whimpering. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Sebastian.
I'm sorry, pal. I'm sorry, pal.
Well, I need some updates on Sebastian after this because I want to know that he's doing better.
I'm sure he just needs like one more day. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share about how this week has been for you?
Oh my God, my road trip. I actually drove from Chicago to here. It was so peaceful.
Did you enjoy it? That was a long drive.
It was 12 hours. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, it was more like 11-ish, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was daylight. It was beautiful. I just miss seeing trees. Yeah. I was just listening to my music the entire time. It was great. I loved it. It was that has been the most therapeutic thing that I've experienced this week.
Well, I'm happy that you are, getting some peace and rest because I know Chicago can be a lot for the nervous system.
Yeah, man, it's just overwhelming. And then I don't want to leave the house. And then I'm just cramped up inside my apartment, which isn't good for me. I'm realizing isolation is good to an extent, but I actually don't need as much isolation as I did before. Like now I realize I need to be around people, which is why even right before I left, I was like, Natalie, can I come spend the night? Please. And so I spent the night, I think like 2 nights with her. And I was just like, I can't be alone.
Nice. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm about to open out of my look as I have a butterfly on my shirt. I'm going to open out of my cocoon now that the weather is breaking. So
I definitely love nice weather.
Yes, I definitely feel you. Like you think that you like being isolated, but social interaction is healthy.
It's healthy. It's healthy. I think it depends on what it is. If I'm just like a normal level of overwhelm, just like there's so many tasks, I can be in my apartment. But if like life itself feels overwhelming, I have to be around people.
Yeah, I get that. I can understand. Yeah. Well, I think I do the opposite, but I think it's only because of what my work life is like right now. So with me being at the school and then
I can't wait for things to shift for you.
Look, we are at the very end.
At the end,
I graduate next weekend, May 13th. We up out of there, okay? And then after that, I still have to finish out the rest of the school year. But yeah.
I love that for you.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. And then I'll be able to be social again. I think that this has really cramped my style. This whole
It makes me wonder though, are you actually gonna be social or are you gonna be like, I just want to rest?
I think that at the beginning, I'm gonna be like, I want to rest because I need to recoup from what I've been in. But after that, especially if I'm able to find a job where I could work from home, I will be, I know that I will be way more social because I'll want to leave the house. Right now, I want to be home so much because I'm always out of the house,
Yeah. I feel like once you start working from home, you'll probably be like, all right, so anybody trying to do something?
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody's saying good vibes to Kayla so she can get a work from home job.
Please. It's supposed to be my season.
She said it's supposed to be. Not it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. So we're going to see. I believe that it is. Let me change the language. I believe that it is.
This is your season.
My time.
This is your season.
I have struggled.
This is both of our seasons, man. I do feel like this season is about to be a slight struggle, but it's going to be probably like a good transitional struggle. I'm just not going to like it. Not in the beginning, at least. I feel it. There's a shift coming.
Yeah. It's something. Something's brewing. Something's brewing.
It's been brewing for a minute, but I feel like it's coming to a head.
Feeling it just bubble. It's like, okay, let's get to it.
I love that both of us are in the middle of these like wild transitions.
We are.
And then we still have a podcast.
But you know what's even funnier though?
Ow.
That we both kind of deal with it the same way and like, I'm going to go into my bubble.
We'd be like, how about I just like not talk to nobody? How about we just ignore everything?
That's what I've been doing, and I really need to stop. I'm trying to get out of that.
You and I both. I'm like, Iyanna, you're an adult. Just suck it up, buttercup.
I know. I keep trying to tell myself that, but I feel mentally like I have the capacity of a 15-year-old, so I don't know.
I was literally just talking to somebody today about how I will pay extra for the sake of convenience. And I want to get to the point in my life where I don't even have to be the richest. Like, I don't even have to be like extremely wealthy. What I do want though is I want to be successful to the point of having the money to delegate simple tasks that my brain doesn't have to think about. So someone to clean my home, someone to even cook for me. That would be nice. Someone to just simply like book stuff for me, like put stuff on my calendar, just simple stuff like that. So I can put my mind energy toward things that actually matter, because these small things take up so much of my mental energy and I get so overwhelmed by them that I just like, I don't have anything left.
Yeah. I think that the thing that I really want to take off of my plate, if I could, is I would love to be able to get a meal prep like type of thing.
There are services for that. I feel like
my parents have it. And so I go over to their place and they literally have all their lunches and breakfast made for, they just go pick it up each week and they have breakfast and lunch every day. And then if they really like needed some dinner, they have stuff there where they could have dinner if they didn't feel like cooking. That was significantly like lift burden off of my life. If I could afford something like that on a normal basis. They do that every week. I'm just so jealous. I just be looking at them like, what's it like to be rich? How does it
have to, right. Because those are some expensive services. And that's why, because I looked into them in the past and I could not afford them then. I should do some more research now to see if I can, if they're in my budget. But yeah, I can't. The eating is serious. It's a bad problem for me. Like I really am back to my pre-marriage weight, which isn't. It's actually not good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're stressed, you don't feel like eating.
It's that on top of the fact that like the ADHD is so bad that like I don't think to eat until like my hunger cues are starting. But at this point, I'm like really hungry, and then sometimes I'll get distracted from my hunger cues and then I won't eat until like 5 p.m. that day.
You almost need to set reminders for yourself.
There's this book that I've been using. It's called Beyond Body. And it literally laid out a full plan. Granted, I have to cook the food, but it laid out a full 28-day plan. So it's meant to like jumpstart a healthy lifestyle for yourself. So I just did day 5 today. I might have skipped one of them days, but I did day 5, and it was a lot. But nonetheless, it's a lot because I'm not used to it. Right. So I'm hoping by the end of this month, I'll have a routine for myself.
Yeah, and you just ate 3 tacos before we started.
I scarfed them things down.
Yeah, so that was good.
They were so good.
Okay, we're gonna get started because we could talk about what's wrong with us for days.
Yeah, we love that. That's my favorite topic.
I love to talk about what's wrong.
My favorite topic.
But let's talk about what's good, which is we have taken inspiration this week for our episode from a Netflix movie docu.
It's an interview style, but it's from her book.
Yes. So Michelle Obama wrote a book called The Light We Carry, and she went on tour. And from my understanding, she had different people on each stop of the tour moderate what was, moderate her answering questions about the book. And they filmed the last stop on the tour, which was LA. And it was Oprah Winfrey. So that's
with the Oprah Winfrey.
The Oprah Winfrey, baby. Okay.
Bro, I was talking about that, how they're just like, they are probably 2 of the most well-known women internationally.
Yes.
Black women internationally.
Yes. They are the coolest.
Oprah.
Like Oprah.
It's crazy.
Like, who does not want to be Oprah? She's just, wow.
Who doesn't know Oprah? Like, okay, I don't want to be Oprah because like that's a lot. That's a lot of responsibility. Like you can't go nowhere without nobody knowing who you are. But
I wanted to
nonetheless,
be Oprah when I was younger. That was, I mean, I kind of still want to be like Oprah because I have always dreamed of having a talk show like what we're doing here.
Wouldn't that be cool, Kayla, if we had a talk show?
Yes. I wrote that down for us. Like it's
I wouldn't do one by myself, but I would do one with you.
Yeah, we could do it together. We could host a talk show on TV. That would be so cool. It's possible. I mean, anything's possible for us.
Anything is possible.
Yes. So yes, they did this on Netflix and it was so super cool. I don't necessarily want to ruin the whole thing because if you would like to watch it, I think that you should, but it just encourages a lot of conversation that we talk about on a normal basis anyway. So
literally
we can dive further into some of these like topics that they bring up and our thoughts about them.
There was just so much wisdom that she had to share. Yes. And granted, like at some point, because while she was talking, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I knew this stuff. Wish I knew this stuff. And then at some point she goes like, be patient with yourself. It takes a lifetime to find your voice.
Yes.
And I was like, oh.
I literally
like, I just got to this point of being complete within myself. And I was like, damn.
At 50.
And I was like, damn. Oh, okay.
I think we rush ourselves too much.
Because we expect ourselves to be so much further along.
Yeah. And I think it's just overexposure as well. Like we have so much exposure to what other people are doing. And then if we see these people who are basically like anomalies, like people that are in these positions where they're our age making tons of money and doing all of this like fancy luxe stuff, we feel like we should all be in that position. And it's just not, it's not the status quo for what.
But even beyond that though, like when she said that, I wasn't even thinking about like her financial success or her career success. What I was thinking about is her mindset, her perspective, her maturity. And I think, especially with me being in this position that I am, I think on top of holding myself so highly accountable, other people hold me to a standard, expecting me to be so much further than what I actually am when I just turned 29. Granted, that is like old enough, but like I'm still in my 20s and I'm still figuring it out. And people like hold me to this standard of like, well, you should be healing like this way and you should be doing this. And I'm like, okay, but like, why are you like, please don't tell me what I should or should not be doing. Like, again, I'm being patient with myself and I'm eventually finding my voice, but it takes time.
It takes so much time
and experience.
I was just about to say it really takes life experiences for you to go through things and you learn lessons, especially if you're hard-headed like the two of us are, where you want to experience it for yourself. You almost kind of like, and this is something I wrote down as well when I was watching it about like how I want to be more open to learning. I'm weak, Iyanna. I want to be more open to like learning and really taking things that elders have to share, like trusted elders. Because I think that a lot of times what I have found from the way that I do things is I want so hard to be right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be right in this situation. I want to do it my way. And my way is just not best because I'm doing things that other people have done and they have fell flat on their face on. And I'm just like, oh no, well, that's not me. I can make this work. And then it doesn't work. And I think I'm realizing that more. Like I always talk about this, but working at a high school has really just opened my mind because I remember being in high school and thinking that I knew everything and that I had it all figured out. I just really thought in my mind, like, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to go. And when people would tell me otherwise, I would be kind of like offended. Like, who are you?
Yeah, it's my life. And granted, yes, it is. I don't think I really learned to live through or learn through other people's experiences until my marriage, when I realized like, I need an expert. I need help. What the fuck? Help me, nigga. Like I needed help. But before that, I was like, no, I just need to experience it. Like, I just got to experience it. And then I realized like some of this pain could have been avoided had I just like listened to some wiser people.
Yeah. That's something I really want to take with me in this next phase. I have to really stop being so defensive and quick to want to prove some type of point. Like, what am I proving? Like, nothing. Like, it takes nothing.
Humble yourself.
Like, humble yourself, girl. Stop acting like that. It's just kind of crazy when I really think about it. Why am I like this? Who made me like this?
Like, it ain't even gotta be like this.
It don't. And I think about the fact that I have so many people in my life that are older than me that share so much wisdom on me. And I want to be more open to what they have to say, because when I talk to my students, I hope that they're like open to what I have to say, because I'm trying to save them from a lot of heartache and pain. And I see their wheels turning when I'm talking to them. Like, I like you. I trust you, but also I'm gonna do this instead. And I'll be like, okay.
It makes me wonder, like, where did that come from in us? Because when anyone tells me what to do, there's an immediate reaction for me to buck. Like, whether it's a big buck or a small buck, like, I'm gonna buck. But like, is it a personality type, or is it something to do with like the relationship we've had with our parents? Because I feel like that might be what it is. I feel like if a child grows up in an environment where they have the opportunity to feel and to express themselves in a way that is, of course, respectful, but also they've learned to genuinely trust their parents and their insight, then that also filters into adulthood, and they can listen to other people as well and trust them. Because I know, like, I just had a hard time trusting what anyone else had to say about my life, because I'm like, how are you an expert on my life? Meanwhile, not understanding that, like, people have patterns, and you can learn people's patterns or just patterns of life through other people's patterns of life. Like, sometimes things just repeat, like, and you can pick up on the pattern, like, just figure it out.
Yeah, there actually is a science behind that. And this is the area that I would kind of deem myself a bit of an expert on, just because of the fact that I really have studied teenagers specifically, what they care about. And I think that it is what you said. Part of it could be personality traits and just who people are. But I think a lot of it has to do with how you are raised, and it has to do with parenting style. So, like, we've talked about this in the past about like authoritarian parents versus authoritative. And what that looks like. And I think that especially when children don't get the freedom to explore and be able to trust their own intuition, it makes you feel very like, well, you're trying to take your control and your power back, especially when you get to your teenage years. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is also that teenagers in those years, you are trying your hardest to separate yourself from anything that has to do with adults.
Identity. Yes.
You do not care what adults have to say. You care most about peer relationships. They look at their friends as the experts on everything.
Believe that. And we're all idiots. At least at that age, we were all idiots.
No, we were. And that was really my goal when I went into working with high schoolers. I was like, I would hope that if I come in being like a young person working with high school students, that they could trust me enough that I don't seem so far removed, that I can be more impactful than adults who are like, you need to do da-da-da. It's also how you talk to them too. I think that's...
Oh my God. It's especially how you talk. But it's interesting that you take on that viewpoint, because I know working in the residential centers with teenagers, some people will take on the viewpoint where even though they weren't so far removed from it, they try to establish themselves so heavily as like adults, like experts of life adults, because they thought that the authority is what was more important. But it's like, no. The rapport is more important than anything else, especially with teenagers. That you need to establish rapport very quickly or just like over time, like build the trust. And it's the connection that gets
definitely the rapport. It's the rapport. At the end of the day, it's the rapport. And that's why I've always just kind of stepped back and let them come to me, or I'll say a couple words to them and then
They're
they
like
kind of
cats.
look at me like, and then
They're
next thing
like
you know, they
cats,
like
bro.
latch on to you and they're like, oh, I
Yeah.
love you. You my favorite. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because I impress you? Like,
Literally. It's
Is
like,
that
I
it?
gave you your space. Like, is that all it takes? Is this the bare minimum now? But they like when you do it, even when you talk to them like that. It's like, teenagers are strange.
They look. Every day,
I've been there. I used to be that,
simulation.
but like,
Every day I'm in there, I'm like, this is a simulation. Y'all are crazy.
They're
I tell
like
them, I'm like,
cats,
y'all
man.
are crazy. They be like, Miss Scott. I'm like, y'all are crazy.
They're crazy. They're just crazy. All them hormones, just oh God, I do not miss that.
Me either.
I do not miss that at all.
Worst
That
4
was a
years.
confusing time. Yeah. That was
Okay, let's get back to this because we could talk about teenagers all day too.
Right, all day.
So the first thing that I wrote down that actually kind of relates to what we were talking about in our fill-in forecast is Oprah having a fearful mind, being in a position to what she already knows she knows how to do, and going behind people who are big names. This is the Oprah Winfrey. And she was like,
crazy
at the very beginning, she's like, oh my gosh, I came after all these people. She's like, Michelle was like, nobody wants to come after you. Like, what are you talking about?
And even she has imposter syndrome.
Yes. And so what it reminded me of immediately, I wrote down, like in connection to that, I said, me sitting next to Iyanna and knowing knowledgeable things, like being a professional, but still feeling like I'm shrinked because of the way that the world will view things. Like what qualifies you to be in this, right? May view things, because it's not everybody, but
not most people.
No, but it's just the little voices in your mind making you feel like, you know, you're not qualified to be in that position. And it's just crazy that it was a nice humbling moment that Oprah Winfrey sat there and talked about the fear that she felt coming out to sit next to Michelle Obama. And she was a name before Michelle Obama became the first lady.
Isn't that wild?
Isn't it crazy?
The other crazy thing to me was when Michelle Obama, I felt disrespectful just saying Michelle. When Michelle Obama, Mrs. Obama,
when our first lady,
forever my first lady.
Yes.
when she even talked about the fact that like during quarantine and stuff, she said she started to get very depressed. And in my mind, I'm like, Michelle Obama was getting depressed.
Yeah.
Depressed? But that just goes to show what like a lack of direction or a lack of purpose could do to anybody. It's
the reminder that we are all human, no matter what the platform is in which we found our success, our career. Everybody is still having human experiences, just in different facets of life.
That's another thing she talked about too. She was like, she's like, people were shocked when I opened up about my marriage and like that we have flaws. She's like, but people want to believe the social media. She's like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, it's social media. Social media ain't that real. And I was just like,
yeah. She literally said,
speaking to the choir girl, I understand.
She said that people will post pictures of her and him and be like relationship goals. She'd be like, I was mad at him in that picture.
When I tell you I was dying when she said that. I was dying when she said that. I didn't realize she got so much flack about the thing where she said she was miserable for like 10 years of their marriage, but 30 years is a long time. She's like, I'll take those 10. Like, that's fine.
But you know what?
People were mad about that.
She really hit the nail on the head, though, because you have to think about the generation and the time that we live in. Nobody wants to be unhappy. We live in a fast gratification society. People want results. They want what they want immediately.
Microwave results.
Yes. And so if you don't have it right then and there, you feel like, oh, well, this ain't going to work out, you know?
Yeah. At the end of the day, she understood that she chose a good man. And like, regardless if they were, and those are the kind of marriage problems that I won't say you should be having, but that are okay to have. Ones where you're compromising over communication styles, or compromising over like struggles of parenting, or like compromising over like schedules and life roles. Like those are marriage problems that are okay to have when you choose a good partner.
Yeah.
When you
I
choose a
always,
good partner, you're good, bro. Like everything. I mean, you're combining your life with someone who's so different than you. Like, of course, you're gonna have issues.
It's gonna be issues in every facet because you're trying to change this person to fit into a puzzle piece that they don't fit into. And I feel like I learned when Marcus and I started dating, I was like, it helps me to realize that problems should come from almost like external forces. And then, you know, the things internally about like your morals and character and things like those should never necessarily be like the main issues that you're fighting over. It should just be little things. Like you said, like life stuff. You can't control that. Like, for example, with me and him, we both have super busy schedules right now, you know? So we can't control that because we're trying to create a life that we want for ourselves and for our future family. So that is external, and we have to work together against that problem. But I think that a lot of times people look at relationships like, oh, if it doesn't work for me, then I don't need to do this. And it's not just about you. You're combining your life with this person. It's not just about what this person can do for you. It's about what can you do for them? How do you all combine and mesh seamlessly as possible? It won't be seamless, but
yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you've chosen a partner who you know has good character, it's like, okay, win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Win-win.
Everything else you guys can work through.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like
I think the only deal breaker is cheating.
Hello. That's a problem.
Actually, I won't say
that crumbles so many things when that happens.
Yeah.
Trust, communication, everything.
But that also shows like a lack of good character though. So that's why I say there's a power in choice. You choose someone who has good character. You got, you know, butterfly feelings in the beginning. That's great. You know, blah blah blah. Yep. Anyways, another thing that I loved her talking about that I just absolutely loved was her talking about her kitchen table.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
So Oprah was like, you don't have 12 good friends. And she's like, no, I do. She's like, I absolutely do. And it reminded me of where I am now, because I would have been that person. You don't have 12 good friends. Because to me, that would have just been unimaginable. But going through like the stuff with this marriage, I've realized the importance of having your kitchen table. Like your partner cannot meet all of your needs. They just can't. They just can't. And you need a bigger support. You need a village. And now I went from having 2 solid good friends, and in the past 2 to 3 years, now I have like 8.
What do you feel like changed for you, like in that time span?
My desire for healthiness changed, and then I gravitated toward people who are similar to me and like-minded, who are also very particular about the people around them. And so, I mean, I've met mutual friends through mutual friends because we're all similar. We're all alike. I wouldn't have met Asia and Ariel if it weren't for you. Like I would have met Bree if it weren't for Anna. That's what I'm saying. Like I've gathered my community by making one solid friend, and then that solid friend has other solid friends, and we've just continued to build our little fortress, our little community, our little village.
Do you feel like prior to like building out your village and your community of friends, do you think that you were closed off to opening up to having more friends prior to?
Because I was convinced that like I didn't need that many people. And I used to like say like, oh, I have a small circle as a flex, because I thought that was a flex. Like, no, I have a small circle. But what I really was trying to say is that I'm very selective and I'm very intentional. And I can still say I'm very selective and very intentional. But look where that got me. But it was during quarantine, when I was in so much isolation, did I realize, oh my God, I need people.
Yeah.
And look at that. And then it's like
so
a
crazy.
little flip switch.
Yeah.
Flip switch.
I really think that I open myself up after, like, I think I've always been open to friendships, but I think my problem was that I wasn't selective of enough of my friendships. Because
So you were just shedding.
because I've
shedding.
I always see the good in people. So I can see why I should remain friends with people in different situations. And so it would make me have a lot of people around me, but I didn't have the quality. Like, I had quantity without quality.
I see.
And so
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm that way, but only when it comes to like romantic relationships. Now, when it comes to my friends, when it comes to my friendships, I'm, for some strange reason, I've always been a lot more selective. But then when it comes to romantic relationships, and I think that comes down to daddy issues in a way, which I also want to touch on when she talked about her father.
Yes.
I haven't been as selective.
Yeah. I think it was across the board for me, quite honestly. I feel like in all facets of my relationships, I just wasn't selective enough. I didn't have the verbiage to set boundaries. I felt very scared and timid that if I spoke what was impacting me or that I didn't like, that would make me not digestible. I've always been concerned about me not being digestible to people. And so it's been a weird thing, but I think it's because I have these like layers to myself of I can be this very like receivable person. And I know that, like, I know that I can be receivable by people. But then I also know that I have an intensity to myself that to some might not be very well received. To some people, that is a lot. To some people, it's like, she's doing too much or she's controlling and all that stuff. So it's made me feel very like I need to hide these parts of myself, and I'm just gonna like fold my hands and just be the good friend that lets you run, show all sides of yourself, and I accept that, but then I can't be accepted in all facets of who I am. So I just kind of let that go once I saw people were running over me, and I was like, first of all,
what we
tired
not
of this.
I'm tired of being tired.
I'm tired.
It's like, is you tired enough?
Right. Learn my lesson.
Oh, sorry. I had to burp.
It's okay.
But okay, back to the being selective thing. So this I think I just had a revelation to an extent. When I said the daddy issue thing. So the reason why I feel like I've been more selective with women than I have with men is because I understand women better, because I've had a lot more solid mother relationships than I have father relationships. Like, I don't know my biological father well at all. The only really consistent dad I've ever had is Michael, and that became extremely consistent in my adult years. But mother figures, there's my biological mom, which wasn't very stable, but it was balanced out by Kim, who raised me until I was 18, who then kicked me out of the house. And then I have Jennifer. But even in between then, I had like mothers who would like adopt me. Like, I don't know how many people I call out here. I'm like, hey mama. Like, I just be calling, like, I have mother figures and I understand women and I know how to navigate relationships with women. So I feel like that's why like I'm a little bit more selective. But with men, like, that was just a lot harder for me to navigate because I didn't understand men. I didn't have as much experience with men. But I know when she was talking about her relationship with her dad and the things that she learned through her. And I loved listening to that. But she learned her perseverance through her father. She learned that laughter is a tool through her father, which, I mean, I use laughter to cope, and people think I'm not coping because I'm laughing. And I'm like, no, that is me coping. I'm still dealing with it. It's helping me.
Yeah.
And then just in general, her dad did a lot of modeling just with himself. Like, he was the example. Yeah. And I just thought that was beautiful. I was like, see, I need to find a man who's going to model for my children, you know?
Yeah. The things I took away from it, the quote I wrote down was, nobody can make us feel bad about ourselves if we think good about ourselves. And that was something I really needed to hear in that moment because of the space that I told you that I was in when I was listening to this. And I was just like, like, we like so often we put so much energy into what everybody else thinks about us. And what it really shows is an area that needs to be grown in confidence. Like that if you think that you did well in this situation, regardless of what everybody else may think, like, you know what your intentions were and you sit and feel well in that. So I wrote that down. I wrote down the importance of truly falling in love with yourself, no matter who has something to say. You are grounded in truth. You have control over your feelings. Oh, that was the one. She said,
focus on what you can control.
Yes.
So I started writing things down that I can control for myself.
Oh, that's really good. What did you write?
My perspective, my mindset, my routine, my self-talk, and also the environment I choose to insert myself in.
Yes.
Those are things that I can control.
Yes.
Yeah, but back to the light thing, like I felt that too. And she was talking about fueling your light and don't let someone dim it. And then that's when it occurred to me, because I had like somewhat of a revelation for myself. Even with me being so vulnerable, some people really do see that as a weakness. It's like, why are you doing all this? Like, do that in private. Like, do that in private. And it's something to be disgusted at to them. But I know that it's a strength. I've learned through this past year, like my vulnerability is absolutely a strength.
And it's because they're scared to do it themselves. And somebody has told them, you cry in private. You don't let people see you when you're down. And so then they project onto you the things that they've been taught and they've been told and haven't had the freedom to do in their own lives.
Right. And I like to live my life out loud. Like that's that's just me. I've always been that, even without social media, like even with people around me, like I just like to live my life out loud. And she even talked about that. She was like, people were shocked by the fact that I was being vulnerable in this book. She was like, but why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not? She was like, I'm a normal person too. I'm processing just like everybody else. And I was like, yes, I feel that shit.
I think that people feel that they have so much control over, they want to have so much control over the perception of what other people think of them. And they also want to not be like a living example. Like it's different when you've kind of been called to be just like a vessel, having an experience, and you don't take ownership of the experiences that you're having, instead of just being like, I'm experiencing this for all of us. We got a message not that long ago. I don't know if it was a DM, or a comment, but I saw it, and it talked about how us sharing the things that we are going through has helped this person so much.
I get them all the time,
and that's why
I do it. That's why we wanted to do this podcast. It's like, bro, we're all dealing with it. You're not alone. You are not alone, bro. We all out here struggling.
We all struggling.
And we're all out here thriving. That's what I'm saying. We're thriving and we're struggling. Like we're living a human experience. Y'all are not alone. We are all in this together. We're all in this together. Let's do like the dance too. I hope y'all in y'all car doing it.
That's so funny.
When she said something about, she was like, we define what it is to be a happy human, and a lot of people don't fit in that box. And it made me think, especially men, because people are constantly telling men like what they should and what they should not be. And that's no wonder a lot of men are unhappy. No wonder a lot of men are unhealed. No wonder a lot of men are projecting onto women, and like, no wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder. Because they don't fit into this tiny ass little box.
They don't. And just the same way that we need space to heal from the ideals that have been put upon us, that we are here to serve a man and we are here to be a subordinate, and us healing from those things, men have to heal from the things that they've been told as well.
Yeah, like you don't have to be the rock. You don't have to, like, you're human too. It's okay for you to feel. It's okay for you to express. It's okay for you to feel weak. That's normal. It's a human experience. It is okay for you to be depressed. It is okay for you. I mean, like, it's human. It's okay for you to live it.
Yes. That is something I definitely think that women we have to work as a whole to do better at with men. Because I think a lot of times we project those things back onto them that continues to reiterate the idea that they have to be these like statues, these stone figures. And it's just not true. Like,
I will say there are a lot of women, and I'm sure I've done it for sure in my past as well, up until recently when I realized like how problematic it was. But like women are also pushing like misogyny and like with their own perspectives, like, oh no, my man ain't gonna be doing that. Like,
yeah,
girl, well then that's just not your man. That specific guy is not your man. But like, allow them to do, like, come on.
Or feeling like this is the one that really gets me. And I know this might be controversial. However, I feel like, because I know there's different viewpoints on it, but I think that women put sometimes a lot of pressure on men about the provider aspect.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's fair, because I think that women sometimes want to just be able to like live their life in freedom, because it's like, okay, like if you don't work a job, right? You don't work a job and you want him to pay all the bills. You also don't want to stay home and do all the cooking and all the cleaning and just raise the kids. You want to be able to go out, do your thing. Like, so there has to be some type of balance.
Are there women who like, do you know anyone personally who like wants that?
I know someone.
I see it every once in a while, like on.
We don't know these people personally because we don't hang out with people that think like this.
That's true.
But I know somebody from when Marcus and I first moved in together. I remember somebody from like one of my friends from high school. I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, we're about to move in together or whatever. And she was like, he better be paying for it. And I was like, no.
Not better be.
I was like, no, we're splitting the rent.
Better be.
And she was just like, girl, like,
My thing is like, if you want to live your life like that, then find a man who is also I think at the end of the day, it's about finding someone who is aligned with you. I'm sure there's men out there, and maybe your pickings are a little bit slimmer, because like a lot of men aren't thinking that way. But like, you have to understand your pickings are a little bit slimmer, but don't force that down somebody else's throat just because like you think that is the right way. Like,
and I think a lot of times like that. A lot of times in those situations, though, like this is not a one size fit all, because I can't say that for everybody. But I think that when women are in situations where men have that amount of power over their family dynamic and their life, like if you're not having any income, like you are completely reliant upon this man.
Scary.
And it like, depending on how much money he's making and all of that different stuff, some of those men have like control issues. Yeah. It's not all of them. Some of them genuinely just want to be a family man. Like I know that I talked to Marcus about like the time period where we have kids. I'm not going to work.
Yeah,
I am not working. So I would.
You want to be a stay-at-home mom? I think that's fine. I would love to be a stay-at-home mom for at least the first 5 years of each of my child's life until they go off to like grade school. But even before that though, like I thought I wanted to be, I thought I was more traditional, but then I got married and I realized like I didn't want any of Jared's money. I wouldn't even touch that money. We had a joint account. He would put money in it, but I'm like, that's our money, but I'm not touching that. He'd be like, no, you can dip into it if you want to. I'm like, no, that's I'm not touching that. I ain't touching that. Yeah. That ain't, no. But that's where we also weren't aligned, because he wanted to be a financial provider and I had other needs.
You needed other types of stability.
I didn't care about his finances. Yeah, I was like, I pay for my own stuff. And I was paying for my own stuff. I was like, I don't need you to pay for nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I need something else. So just,
and I'm trying to get out of that. I'm trying to get out of that, like that super independent girl.
It is hard, especially when your partner, that's how they want to be able to. So you have to an extent, like allow them to. I know I had to adjust in some ways because I was very uncomfortable with having someone have that kind of power over you, especially when you don't trust the person completely. It's like, I don't want you paying for nothing. Like, I don't want to be owing you nothing. That's so bad.
I just need to soften up. Like,
so how what's your plan to get to that point of softening it? Like,
I don't know, girl. I don't know. I be sitting here, I'm like, I can't act like this. Like, I'm about to be somebody's wife. I can't be like hard body. That's my issue.
But how are you hard body? Like, I've never seen you be hard. I mean, I've seen you be very strong in your opinions when it comes to
That's what I'm talking about. I think that sometimes, though, I need to shut up. Like, sometimes it's just not necessary.
You know, I always say wisdom isn't just knowing what to say. It's also knowing when to speak.
Yes. And I think sometimes, like, I know that I can be very, like, strong in my opinions and leadership, especially if I have a certain idea about something. Like,
You're very particular.
I am not backing down. Yeah. But I think that sometimes, not to say that I'm going to dim my light or anything, because I'm going to be me. But I need to give, still, it's a compromise of giving Marcus space to step into leadership. I have led my own life for so long. And I have fought my dad. I have fought everybody that has tried to show any type of leadership over me. And so I have to allow space for that, for me to soften up. And then I don't have to carry the burden of feeling like I have to be in control all the time. I really want to release that. Like, it's just, it doesn't even feel good for me, you know, because then I don't trust anybody else to do it. I feel like my way is
Come on, strong Black woman. Come on, strong Black woman. You ain't we're in the soft woman era.
That's what I want to be in. That is my goal. Going into marriage, I want to go into my soft woman era and be like, oh, my husband will.
Do you remember that tip I told you? If you have to ask someone twice, you're trying to control.
Yes, I have to remember that because you said that to me. And now that you said it again, I remember. But you said it. I was like, oh, that was good. And it went, I was like, that.
Because in the moment, you're like,
no. Control.
So just remember that he may not do it exactly how you want it, but just let him do it.
I got to give him space. I got to give him
space. It's like you don't have to dim yourself, but just back up a little bit so his shine can shine a little bit more.
I know, because I know I could be a lot.
Let him shine, because I know that must be really affirming for him to, you know, take lead.
Men want to feel like the leader.
They do. Well, they just want to feel useful. Sometimes they don't want to feel like, but sometimes they want to feel really useful. Everyone wants to feel useful and seen and felt, you know, like, I want to feel productive. Like I contribute something to this partnership. Yeah. So let him do that, Kayla. Let me shine, Kayla.
I'm going to let him shine. That's about to be my husband. I got to
shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond. And I'm going to just sit back like, and chill.
Nah, I feel like them first couple times you're gonna be looking like
it's already like that. Cause I've been trying to give him more space. I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, I'm trying to let you do it. Trying to let you do it. Give it to me, let me do it.
You better take that. Where my glass of wine at? Just take the I'm about to watch something.
But I feel like he's been doing it. And I think it's also with men learning the way that women want to be led, which is really hard.
Oh my God, yes. Because men think that like, I know from experience, some men think that like it's enough for them just to financially provide that, and they think that's leadership. Some men think like telling you what to do or like being such a heavy planner. It's like, no. But also they need to understand how we cope with things. We like to feel first. Let me feel it first and vent and speak irrationally through my feelings and then process and then let's plan. That's when I want you to tell me.
Come on.
Give me your insight. Give me your insight then. But let me process first. Okay.
Yeah. That's
it's just like you just gotta learn. You know, you gotta learn each other, man. You know, because you know, men and women, as much as like people love to dramatize the thank you, dramatize the divide between men and women. Like, yes, there is like some differences, but it's really not like at the end of the day, we all have basic human needs of wanting to be seen and wanting to be understood.
We want to be people.
We want to be people, bro. Just let them be people, bro. They want to feel useful. They want to feel loved. They want to feel cared for, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Man.
It's okay. Just find somebody who, you know, it aligns with y'all. They're like y'all on the same page.
I'm about to coin your term. What a life.
What a life. Bro, I say that like 5 times a day because I'm still amazed. What a life. Whether it's good or bad, I always, what a life.
What a life.
What a life. I just can't believe it.
Okay. I got a question that I wrote down.
Okay.
That I want to ask, because I think that it was asked or I took it and I was like, oh, that's a good question. What does happiness look like for you? What things does it actually include that you desire versus what society has told you should make you a happy person?
You know, I love this term of like happiness, because before, if you would have asked me a few years ago, like, Iyanna, what do you want in life? And I'm like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. And that was the only answer that I had, because I didn't really quite understand what that meant. But as time keeps going, I understand that like I want to be healthy, and like happiness to me is healthiness. If I'm healthy in my mind and my soul and my spirit, like in my body, like that's happiness to me. If I can learn discipline of the mind, discipline of the body, if I can learn, you know, how to feed my soul, if I can figure all those things out and like get those in my routine, and it not be such a struggle to incorporate those things when life is like teaching you to overindulge or teaching you to like feed into the unhealthier habits, then like that to me, I think I'll be because with that, all those good character or those good traits, those good skills, those anything that you pick up with healthiness, like success follows, like healthier relationships follow, like, and that's why I'm like, I just want to be healthy.
I love that.
Overall healthy.
I've never thought about it in that way before, but that's so spot on. I feel like
that's what I learned through my marriage. Come on. I'm proud of myself. Look at me. Lessons. Come on, lessons.
I don't know. I feel like this is a hard question for me to answer, because I think that I'm still trying to decipher what it is that is happiness for me versus what society has like told me is happiness. And it's hard when you're trying to break through societal norms of what it looks like versus what your own looks like.
Okay. So break it down. Break it down to each section of your life: your career, your relationship, your friendships, your own personal growth.
And I think that that's I think that happiness, like, to me right now, the word that just pops up in my mind is discipline. I feel like I have felt so out of control of my life just in general. And it's because there's always so many moving parts, and there's always areas that I feel like I'm lacking in. But it's because I go through and I do all of this stuff that I need to do. And then when I get moments where I can do what I want to do, I'm burnt out. And all that I have time for is to pour into my own cup to recharge. But I want to find other avenues of recharging. And it goes along with what you're talking about, like being healthy physically, mentally, spiritually. But that's discipline. Like you have to be disciplined in that. And it's hard because it's not always fun. In the moment when you're about to do that stuff, you're not like, I don't want to work out.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I want to get to a point where I'm no longer building the foundation of just discipline. I want it to be
second nature,
lifestyle. I want it to be my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Healthiness just be my lifestyle. But that takes so much work, because then you have to master being able to juggle discipline in each aspect of your life.
Which requires you to, the thing that I have been fighting, and this is the reason why my life has felt so out of control. It requires you to basically plan your life out. Like you plan your days out hour by hour. And that makes me cringe on the inside because I want freedom.
Planning and delegation.
Yes.
Planning and delegation and executing.
Because then I can look at the reminder and be like, I'm about to lay here. And
you don't know how many reminders I just be ignoring in my phone. Even the one on my phone for social media telling me like your hour's up. You just ignore it, and I just be like, Yep.
That's what I do too. That's so bad.
We got to do better, bruh. If we really want happy lives, we have to be just like generally healthier.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think that I just overindulge in things. And that's the everything is
under or over.
Yeah.
Under or over.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, it's ongoing, just forever. And that's something. So right now I'm trying to take charge of it, because when I had that moment of just kind of like over the weekend where I was feeling so broken down about everything, I was kind of spiraling a little bit.
Yeah.
But I felt like part of why my life has been so chaotic is because I haven't had structure in my spiritual life that I have previously had. And so I'm like, okay, God, please tell me what you want me to do. Like, can you please make it plain to me? I need to understand how I'm going to get over this hump. Yeah. And God told me, I don't like it. I'm about to tell you what he told me though. God told me, you need to fast from TV and alcohol for 30 days.
Okay. All right.
This was my response.
You know, I think I've been being pushed to fast from weed. But also I've noticed there's been a shift in me when it comes to just desire, because I haven't smoked in 2 weeks. And that's the longest it's been in God, I can't even, in like shit, in like,
you're right,
probably like 2 years. Because I know when I was married, at some point I was coping. I was like, bro, where the blunt at? Where the blunt? And it was every day. And I have been smoking every day for probably the past 2 to 3 years. But like, I haven't smoked in 2 weeks. And even at some point, someone, like, I had the opportunity. I was like, oh no, it's fine. Like I've made it most of the day without, like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That part, it's really, really,
it's hard though. But you can do that, Kayla. You can do that.
I know that I can, but I know what the intention is. And the problem is, I still have a hard time pushing myself to do the thing. So what I have been doing though, you'll be happy to hear this. Guess what I've been doing at work? Because God didn't instruct me to fast from social media, but just to be more sparing, like do it more sparingly, not like overindulging in social media. So when I'm at work and I have moments that I would be scrolling on my phone, I've been reading the book that you gave me.
You're kidding. Do you know that book was just brought up today? Anna goes, Iyanna, like, did you bring the first book? And I was like, no, I gave it to Kayla. And she was like, is Kayla reading? I was like, I doubt Kayla's reading. I was like,
no, I'm reading it.
And you're reading it.
I am.
I'm so proud of you. I am proud of you.
It's good too. I'm really enjoying it. So whenever I'm at work and I'm sitting there and I have some quiet time where kids are not like pestering me, I take my book. And then let me tell you, this is just a side note. This one kid, I'm sitting there. They made me sub a class. So I'm sitting there. I have the book out. This is just like such a kid thing to do. I'm sitting behind the desk. So I have the book like this. He literally, I have it right here so I can show you exactly what I did. I had the book like this, right? The kid comes and crouches down right in front of the desk and he's like this. And he's sitting there for a while and I'm just reading and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm trying to read the back of your book. I was like, you asked me. Stop being weird. Here. I'm like, here, look at it.
Kids are strange, Kayla.
He was like, well, it's kind of just like Narnia and Beauty and the Beast collabed. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you.
Kids are strange. Yeah. I love kids though. That's not true. I don't know if I like kids anymore. But honestly, I haven't been around a child in such a long time that when they are around me, I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Why is it doing that?
You just talk to them like
the crazy part is though I used to work with children 3 and under,
and now
and now I'm like
those ones I'm scared of. The only one I'm not terrified of is Caleb.
Teenagers,
because he's my godson.
No, Caleb, I'd be scared of too. I'm like, even Noah, even Anna's son Noah. I'm like, hey Noah. Now he's getting to the age where I can just talk to him like an adult, which is nice because I love doing that because they're so funny. Because the stuff that comes out of their mouth is like, how old are you? How old are you?
Well, that's why I kind of like teenagers because they're like mini adults in little bodies, and you can they can understand what you're saying. Their language is so different now, so they be like, it really triggered me when, and I had to set up boundaries when da da da. I was like,
Bruh, I had a full conversation with my little cousin. And granted, when I was a lot younger and they were younger, I found them so annoying. There's 3 of them. They're all siblings, the Oglesbys. I found them so annoying because they would just like jump on me and they'd just be like all in my face, Yanni, Yanni, and me taking my clothes, like playing my makeup and my shoes. I'd just be annoyed. Somebody out
Can
there
you hear that?
I
this
can
is
hear
what
that.
I'm talking about. My nervous system. This is why I need to leave Chicago.
It's okay, Kayla. It's
Ooh,
okay.
child.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wrap it up.
Okay.
Got it.
Really?
But I found them so annoying. But was it last summer? I came to visit and she was like, "Hey, can I just come to the grocery store with you?" And at this point, she's a sophomore or junior in high school. And we had a whole conversation just about parenting and this new wave of parenting and of not wanting to whoop your children and the parenting styles that we want to. And I looked at her and I was like, oh my God, I can have real conversation with you now. I was like, oh my God, you're like a person now. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's just, I love it. I love teenagers.
They grow up and they become people and they teenagers. Yeah, I love teenagers. That's my favorite age group. I know that they're a little like,
they're my passion, man.
Yeah, they're a little chaotic, but
they are for sure.
They bring the drama, but it's like a little razzle dazzle. That's all.
It's a sprinkle.
A little razzle dazzle.
But I love that you are about to start this fast. I think people forget with fasting that like, yes, you are technically restraining from something, but the point of it is to also add healthier things.
Yes.
So I'm rooting for you, Kayla.
Thank you. You know, it came at the craziest time of my life. And I think on purpose because
I think
now
on purpose too.
I'm about to have my graduation and I can't drink to celebrate.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And I was on a fast too when I found my wedding dress and I couldn't drink to celebrate that either.
Oh,
so I'm just like, this is really crazy. I don't think that I overindulge in alcohol, but I think that sometimes when I have a stressful day, my first response is, oh, let me get a glass of wine.
You're coping. Yeah.
And so I think that I just need to find other mechanisms. And I know with TV, I've been overindulging in TV lately. So I think that's why God was like, gotta go.
Cut it. It's time to replace it with something.
Yeah. So I know I need to get back in my journaling. I need to get into my reading. I'm done with like classes. So now I have the mental capacity to read books.
How far are you in that book now? Do you like it so far?
I do like it so far.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
Yeah, I really do. This is my kind of book. I'm really excited. I'm going to...
I just finished the second book.
Is it crazy?
Now I can't...
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Kayla is so good. And because, oh God, it's so good, Kayla. And
I can't wait till we could talk about it.
Bro, I got so into it. I moved to the third book so fast. I'm on like page 200 on the third book already. And I just started like yesterday, bro. I just like, I can't even pull it.
I can't wait to get committed like that so I can lock in.
Yes,
okay.
Bruh.
Well, that's going to be my thing. And over the weekend, I'm going to try to set out a certain amount of time. Hopefully what I want to do, I'm going to start my mornings. I'm going to journal. Have my little breakfast and
that's
read.
The perfect time to do it. The first thing that I do in the morning, I'm trying to get into the habit of stop grabbing my phone immediately. But with all this stuff going on, I have like shade room alerts on.
That's the worst alert for you to have.
I wake up with anxiety, but I think I'm out of the clear now. Like, I don't think they're going to post about it because like they haven't yet. So I think I can turn them off now, but like, I'm trying to make it a habit. The first thing that I grab is my book and then I just start reading and get my reading out of the way for at least an hour. But sometimes I just lay in this bed for like 2 to 3 hours just reading. But yeah, that's the perfect time to do it in the morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna
creating healthier habits.
I love it. I'm gonna also read before I go to bed at night. I used to do two books, like so. I would read fiction before bed.
I can't do that.
So what I would do, I would read fiction before bed, and then during the daytime, I would read.
I see.
I would read like self-help books during the day.
Oh, I see. My brain can't handle that. It's just like too much. Like
I know the jolt, but now that I'm getting back into reading, I'm going to stick to one book at a time for now. But I feel like I like this so much that I'm going to end up on a binge of this.
Okay,
I'm
good.
like you.
It's good. And when you get to, it's like around the halfway mark in that book where it gets really good. And then the second book is just all around just like phenomenal. And this third book is really pretty good too.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. I'm ready. Then we could talk about it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, I just want to say before, actually, no, because I don't want to say too much. I'll wait until you get through the first one and then I'll say it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, was that kind of our fill of the week?
Yeah, I guess so. It was our fill of the week.
Yeah. Do you have any affirmations for us? We haven't done that in a while. I feel like we might need it.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I almost dropped my phone and broke my finger. Actually, you know what? We can just pull from that dang the light we carry because like
oh yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say a few just from this.
Mm-hmm.
I will focus on what I can control.
I will focus on what I can control.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was something else that I wanted to talk about, but it's too late. Never mind.
I have one because we could go back and forth. Another affirmation. I will be patient with myself.
Oh, I will be patient with myself for sure. Okay, I will fuel my light and I will not let anyone else dim it.
I will fuel my light and I will not let anyone else dim it.
Beautiful.
Oh, wait. This reminds me of, I meant to say this, one of my favorite poems, which is, happens to be in, what movie is it? Kayla and the Bee.
Oh, cute movie.
Yes. And I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick. Okay. I'm going to read it really quickly to close us out, but it's very short.
Wait, before you read that, can I just say one quick tidbit?
Yes.
I just want to say the phrase, if he could, he would. Bro, the president of the United States was coaching his daughter's basketball team. Is that not crazy?
And the vice president was there in the crowd cheering.
And they over here ruling the whole country, and they still had made time to coach their daughters.
If he could, he would.
If he could, he would. All right, anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Let's close out with this. This is a poem by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Beautiful.
On that note, thank you all for tuning in to another week at Fill in the Blank podcast. As always, you can find us on TikTok at Fill in the Blank _ Fill in the Blank pod. You know, I don't really know.
One day we'll get this together.
It's Fill in the Blank pod. Fill in the Blank pod on TikTok. On Instagram, we are Fill in the Blank _ And then on YouTube, you can find us at Fill in the Blank podcast to watch our lovely faces and all of our crazy facial expressions and screeching and whatnot, if you want to see it in live action. And then you can follow me at astoldby.kayla and Iyanna at
Iyanna.amore.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.